Jersey, Mr. Pascrell.
Thank you. Governor, there's no one in this room that believes, I don't believe, knowing what I know about you, that you feel any less and are any less sensitive to the workers and the folks that came from New Jersey, many of them, and the first responders. That's not the issue. The issue is this, that you said there was no conspiracy. You said there was no White House interference, yet let me simply repeat what your own IG stated, your own. Quote, the White House Council on Environmental Quality influenced the information that EPA communicated to the public through its early press releases when it convinced EPA to add reassuring statements and delete cautionary ones. Tables 2, 4, and tables 2, 5 in the IG's report is very clear about that. And a letter that we sent in 2003, and another letter we sent in 2006 to the Attorney General. We never got really a response on that. I don't remember a response. Do you? The Associate Administrator, Kreischer, K-R-E-I-S-C-H-E-R, told the IG there was a conscious effort, quote unquote, to reassure people. And that came from the Administrator and the White House. She told the IG that, quote, felt extreme pressure from the White House. You're stating today, again, that there was no extreme pressure from the White House, Governor Whitman. Is that correct?
Congressman, I'm saying that I felt no extreme pressure from the White House, and I think if you'll go further in Ms.
then why does Associate Administrator, why would she feel that way?
Excuse me?
Why does Kreischer feel that differently than
you? You will have an opportunity to ask her that in a minute. She's on the next panel.
Very good. I certainly will. We're talking here about credibility and accountability. Let me ask you this question. Do you think that the city of New York acted responsibly?
I think the city of New York did absolutely everything in its power to do what was right by the citizens of New York.
So now we're at a different stage since one was blaming.
I would remind people, gentlemen will suspend. I would remind people, please, no demonstrations.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Continue. I don't lose time, do I?
No, no.
Thank you. Yeah. I had the honor to serve on the Homeland Security Committee for 4 years. We went into this certainly not in the depth that this committee is going to go into it. And chairman at that time was Peter King. It just didn't seem right what was going on and what we were hearing. If you've read the reports from Mount Sinai, a couple of reports. By the way, did you read the reports from Mount Sinai about those people who worked?
No, I have not read the reports.
So let me recommend them to you. I say that in all sincerity. Because I conclude after reading the 2 reports that I read, there might have been more, that the people are not making these stories up. The people are not claiming that their illnesses or sicknesses are coming from something other than they felt their work in the area. That's very dangerous, and I think you'd agree with that. Very serious. And we have a responsibility in the government to protect and to prevent things from happening. If these people are correct that they suffered these things, then I don't care what reports you tell us about. I don't care what evidence you present. The evidence is that people, I've convinced, are not lying, that they are sick, that they have had very difficult situations in breathing, pulmonary problems. I've talked to these people myself, Governor. They're not making this stuff up.
Congressman, I would never say they were making it up, and I have talked to them as well.
Well, good.
That's one of the reasons why
that they're not.
That's one of the reasons why we continue to say that those working on the pile should wear respirators. That's why we're repeating
but they all
it
didn't.
over and over again.
They all didn't. And
did
the judge who handled the case, and in conclusion, I want to make this point very clear. The judge who handled the case that was brought against you and against the EPA was very clear. He said this. Whitman's deliberate and misleading statements made to the press, where she assured the public the air was safe to breathe around Lower Manhattan and Brooklyn, that there would be no health risk presented to those returning to those areas, shock the conscience. That's what he said. I didn't say that. Nadler didn't say that. King didn't say that. That's what he said. He also said no reasonable person would have thought that telling thousands of people that it was safe to return to Lower Manhattan, while knowing such a return could pose long-term risks and other dire consequences, was conduct sanctioned by our laws. And let me tell you something, Governor, very clearly. There is a reason. There is a reason for this happening. And there's a reason for why this judge said what he did. And let me tell you also, you know that this administration that you worked for has very little credibility and accountability. So you don't wonder why we ask questions about what was coming out. We wanted one voice. Give me a break. We're talking about people's health here. We're talking about families. We're talking about human faces. And you know that just as well as I do. I ask you, come clear the air so that we could all go forward.
The gentleman's time has expired.
Thank you.
Answer the question.
Thank you. First of all, I'd just like to correct, it was a she, that particular judge. And there was another judge in the Southern District Court on the same day looking at the same, Congressman, there was a judge in the Southern District Court on the same day looking at the basic same fact pattern, came to a very different conclusion. She did not look at fact. That is, as you, I think you are a lawyer, Congressman? Okay, well then I'm not either. It's one of the few things we share, Congressman. We're neither one of us are.
I have two sons that are lawyers. I don't hold it against them.
One of the things that a judge must take as fact in that kind of a proceeding are the allegations by the plaintiffs. They don't look at fact. They don't hear testimony on it. They have to take that as fact. And she was adjudicating whether or not.
Well, I'm glad someone from the administration, past and present, believes that we should rely on science. That's what we will do.
We always did that.
The gentleman's time has expired.